Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Coffee, Books, and Rain, where we seem to be having some pretty perfect timing with recording some of these episodes, because today has been a fantastically lovely rainy day, and yes, I have Mugsley, my I guess faithful coffee companion that my mom gave me for Christmas. So congrats to Mugsley for being here today. And we are actually discussing a book called Assistant to the Villain. I'm bringing it out. I'm going to hold it up for just a second. By Nicole Maehrer. And the reason why I wanted to do this book as an episode for Coffee, Books, and Rain, and I believe it's also going to be an episode on the Books Are Magical podcast that I will do with my co-host Annalicia, is because this book was so incredibly funny and fun and lighthearted, and I had such a great time with it from beginning to end that not only did I audiobook it, I wanted a physical copy as well. It is not usually a genre that I tend to gravitate towards, but when Annalicia and I were talking about some books that we could do for the podcast, a couple of them came up, and she's kind of been occupied with a newborn, and so she was telling me a couple books that she's been reading lately. And of the ones that she had talked about, this one was the one that kind of stood out to me as one that I would be interested in reading. So just going by the title alone, I was like, you know what, that sounds pretty good. Why don't we go with that? And so that was kind of sight unseen as just going by the title. And I was like, yep, let's do that. Sounds great. So then I actually did a little looking into it. Didn't look at any reviews, nothing, just pretty much added it to my Audible cart and downloaded it. And I started listening to it. Well, it's witty, it's funny, the main female character is just cute, and we will get into that just a little bit more, but I want to go ahead and kind of read you the back of the book. So today I'm not actually going to go onto Goodreads. I'm not going to give you any of the stats there. I mean, I could, but I want to kind of give you straight from my heart the book synopsis from the back of the book, as well as everything that I think about this book. And why I think it's so, I don't know why I think it's such a good read. If you want something that's kind of easy, fun, and doesn't take itself too seriously, which is sometimes something that we all need to do in our lives. I think we sometimes take ourselves just a little too seriously. But Assistant Wanted. Notorious high-ranking villain seeks loyal, level-headed assistant for unspecified office duties, supporting staff for random mayhem and terror, and other dark things in general. Discretion a must. Excellent benefits. So, right at the top of the back of the book, we have a little Assistant Wanted paragraph. With ailing family to support, Evie Sage's employment status isn't just important, it's vital. So when a mishap with Renindon's most infamous villain results in a job offer, naturally, she says yes. No job is perfect, of course, but even less so when you develop a teeny crush on your terrifying, temperamental, and undeniably hot boss. Don't find evil so attractive, Evie. That's what she kind of says in her head. But just when she's getting used to severed heads suspended from the ceiling and the odd squish of an errant eyeball beneath her heel, Evie suspects this dungeon has a huge rat. And not just the literal kind, because something rotten is growing in the kingdom of Renindon. And someone wants to take the villain and his entire nefarious empire out. Now, Evie must not only resist ruling over her boss, but also figuring out who is sabotaging his work and ensure he makes them pay. After all, a good job is hard to find. And we've got this cute little frog on the back that's wearing a cute little crown, and he is, I believe, Kingsley, if I remember correctly. He is kind of the villain, and yes, Evie does refer to him as the villain throughout pretty much the whole book, but he has a name, and that is also an incredibly funny moment as well when he does give his name to someone. When he gives his name to someone, and she thinks it's so clever that he came up with it so quickly on the spot, and she's like, "Wow, where'd that name come from?" And he's like, "My mom." Because she didn't realize that, I guess, he had a real name. So conversations ensue to where he's like, "Well, what did you think my name was?" And she says Fluffy. And then later on, a dragon gets named Fluffy, and there is lots of humor within this particular story. There are so many cute, funny things. There are some very tender-hearted things. You can absolutely tell this is one of those stories that you can tell he's got a crush on her, she's got a crush on him. Neither one of them are saying anything. He doesn't probably want to cross the line because he's the boss. She doesn't want to cross the line because she's the worker. So it kind of, everybody else knows. They probably kind of know, but no one's saying anything sort of situation. It makes for some really cute situations, especially at a moment when he thinks he's dreaming and she kind of claims, "Oh, he's my husband," in order to try to kind of prevent a situation from turning bad. And he thinks he's dreaming, so he totally leans into it. He thinks, well, if I'm dreaming, I'm just going to embrace the heck out of it. And she's like, "Wow, okay, he must have heard my little ploy," but he didn't. He just really thought that this was the greatest dream ever. So, but I really have to give it to Hannah Nicole Maehrer because I did not see this book coming. I thought I had seen it on the shelves in a couple places throughout, like Barnes and Noble and things like that. And it's actually got a really cute cover, and I'll kind of hold it up again. I'll probably put an image up or what have you as well, so it'll probably be overlapped on itself at one point or another. But I kind of like to leave an image of the book throughout most of my reviews so people kind of know what they're looking for. Now, the covers can change from publishing to publishing through different iterations, so please be aware of that. I got this copy from Amazon, and it came within 2 or 3 days. I really should look up to see when this book published. I feel like it probably came out not too long ago, but like I said, I had a lot of fun with it, and I really do recommend it. I am kind of looking right now on Goodreads and see that it didn't get, and when I say it didn't get the greatest reviews, right now I'm seeing that it has approximately about a 3.9 averaging review. And I feel like that's pretty low for what this book actually is, and I think it's actually really fun. It's fantasy, it's romance, it's fiction, it's magic, and all of the above. I'm not sure what people thought they were going to get, but this book seems to have received harsher scrutiny than it really deserved. This book was absolutely hilarious. I personally do not like cringe humor. I absolutely can't stand it in TV shows. I can't stand it in real life. I will walk away from situations, and I did not find that in this book. So I'm not sure exactly what these people were kind of referring to, if they felt as though it was cringe humor, but it was not. I thought it was really cute. Now, one person said that they thought it was kind of red YA. No, I mean, again, if you like Emily Wilde, I would put it in the category with Emily Wilde. That is exactly where I would put it. Emily Wilde's a little more curmudgeonly. kind of like she's a little bit more stoic in her logic and her way of thinking with regards to other people. I think Evie is a little bit more friendly and a little more outgoing, and Tristan, the villain, is a little bit more of the curmudgeonly one that everybody's kind of wary of. So that's where I'm seeing this book. That's where I'm seeing this book fit. I think is absolutely super cute. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys that I do not at all agree with a lot of these reviews. Definitely, in my personal opinion, I plan on reading more of the books. It does look as though there are possibly more in the series, which I am very happy about. So I'm kind of looking to see books and editions, assistant to the villain. I am trying to see if we've got Nicole Maehrer. Let's just double check. Yep, there is assistant to the villain, which is number 1, apprentice to the villain, and then there is number 3, which it says assistant to the villain, book 3. So we are assistant, apprentice, and then assistant again. So I guess we shall see how that goes. It does look like this first book came out in, just double checking, August of 23. Yep, August of 23. So giving it its due credit, it has approximately 340 pages. And I look forward to the other books in this series, and I will absolutely be reading them to continue on the journey with these characters. I can't wait to share the podcast episode with everyone with the hopes that y'all will absolutely give this a chance. I cannot say it enough that this book is lighthearted. It is meant to be cozy. It is meant to be a little fun, whimsical, and carefree. If you like things like Emily Wilde, if you like the cute romance, that is what you are going to get. You are going to get the sort of tongue-in-cheek sort of commentary. You're going to get the inner dialogue of some of the characters. I'm okay with that. I don't find the humor to be cringe the way some people do, and I don't like cringe at all. So, but I was totally fine with 100% of this narrative. In fact, I kind of made one of my friends who was riding in the car with me listen to about 3 hours of this because I wanted to finish it, and I didn't care that they had not listened to like the previous 5 hours of it. I was like, look, I'm like, and so he was chuckling too. He was like, yeah, I can see where that book's really funny. So if a random dude can like listen to 3 hours of it and find it funny, then I kind of feel like that's giving it some pretty good kudos. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. I am really trying hard to grow this channel. I am definitely trying to be consistent. I did lose internet for a few days, so I lost a couple days with my posting as my AT&T, I think my router or some part of the equipment died from an update, and it took a couple days to get the AT&T people out here and get my internet pretty much reinstalled. So I am finally back up and running. Yay to having the connectivity that I look forward to and sharing my episodes with you all. And I would love to know what you think with regards to this particular book. Have you read it? Would you read it? And is it up your alley with regards to its content? Do you find that it would be more of a YA middle grade? Because I really don't think it is. I just think it's kind of, it does borderline a little bit on the fairy tale-ish, but more of a Disney fairy tale-ish, I would probably say. But until next time, thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you guys on the next page. Have a great one. Bye.